Good morning, good morning, good morning, Dominica. How are you? It is another wonderful Saturday. I know a few of you missed me for the last couple of weeks, but I'm back. I'm here. And it is such a wonderful Saturday outside. I see the sun is really beautiful and bright. And as usual, I ask you, what is in your cup this morning? All right. And of course, your host, Leandra Landa. I'm very, very happy to have you joining me this morning. And of course, if you are on the Kyrie FM Facebook page, we want you to just hop on and tell us where you're listening from this morning. And of course, share the live. This is a really, really, I should say, well looked forward show. We have been mourning for the last few days as a nation with the loss of our first Prime Minister of Dominica, Patrick John. And today we will be talking to his children, some of his children, as to what he was like, off the political stage. We know that he did his share in Dominica, but today is Daddy. Patrick the daddy and the granddaddy. All right, so thank you for joining us on our frequencies, 88.7, 93.1, 107.9, and of course on our Facebook page, Kyrie FM. All right, so of course we want to start off by thanking our sponsors who make this possible. All right, so stay tuned, get something nice to drink. I know mango is in season. I know pineapple is in season. Whatever you want to drink, or if your cocoa tea, your coffee tea, your ginger, your tabac, whatever you're drinking this morning, get it. And of course, stay tuned with us at right here, Elevate Kyrie FM. All right, so stay tuned, everybody.
Malcolm Stephen & Sons across the bridge is the headquarters, guaranteed for all your frozen meats, poultry, ham, turkey, fish in fridge every day, every week, from Monday morning to Saturday afternoon. Malcolm Stevens is the people's first choice for the ever-fresh quality, with the widest variety and assortment of all your fresh favorite frozen foods from across the Caribbean and across the world. Guaranteed freshness. Pat mouton, pat cabouit, madi la cabouit. All the frozen chicken parts you could ever need. Legs, breast, breast, chest, thighs, feet, gizzards. Malcolm Stevens' back and neck is not back and neck, is neck and back. Dominica alone gets the freshest and the best from Malcolm Stevens' Sons. Swinging sassant with their drumsticks there and first serving it. Your beans, your peas, your salted and pickled meats, tout pat cochon. When you want a broth and a soup, you need to come to Malcolm Stevens & Sons. Nobody makes a better pillau or broth or soup than a Dominican. But the secret is that they buy all their tastiest, nutritious and satisfying frozen foods only at Malcolm Stevens & Sons in Portersville. Tell them I sent you. 448-8709 or 235-5521.
Pure, crisp refreshment. Caribe Hard Cider. Yours to enjoy. With a delicate, exotic taste you just can't get enough of. Caribe Hard Cider is perfect for any occasion. Crafted with champagne yeast, it's an all-natural, gluten-free blend that'll keep you coming back for more. Caribe Hard Cider. Available in original, pineapple, and rosé.
Attention all students. Please settle down. Let's get ready for school with KFC's Back to School Spend and Win. Spend $20 or more for a chance to win one of 3 amazing prizes. Third prize, win a school bag with school supplies and a $200 best prize voucher. Second prize, win a Samsung Galaxy Tab. And the grand prize, win a scholarship of $1,500. Promotion runs from now to August 13th, 2021. It's KFC's Back to School Spend and Win.
Are you looking for good eggs? I mean quality eggs fresh from the farm? Well, we have exactly what you're looking for. No matter the quantity, we have the right amount. Call us today for your fresh farm eggs. Telephone 448-7331, 448-7330, 448-8752 or 614-6767. And we'll get you your fresh farm eggs.
So amazing, I'm not exaggerating.
Do it center!
Hardware and home improvement, building supplies for you. Kitchen appliances, even home decor too. Lumber, lawn, all your garden supplies. Plumbing, welding, electrical supplies.
Visit Do It Center at the former Jane Asset Hardware location on Goodwill Road. Call us at 255-6890.
Isn't it? Lovely, lovely things indeed. Your small enterprise of choice for personalized cups, mugs, pillows, glasses, tote bags, corsages, and so much more. Weddings and birthday keepsakes. 245-8483. Visit our Facebook and Instagram pages. Lovely things, anything but the ordinary. All right, and again, thank you so much to our wonderful sponsors who make Elevate possible every Saturday right here on Kyrie FM. And of course, we are not going to waste any time. So I'm going to definitely start off by saying, extending my sympathies to the three of you, the family, the John family, and your extended family.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I know that death is something that we can say we can prepare for, but when it happens, it's really a different situation. So I really hope that you're coping as best as you can. I see that Mrs. John says she's she's logged on. So good morning to Mrs. John. Of course, my sympathies with you, and I hope that you are doing better. And of course, so let's begin by introducing ourselves. We know some people saw the poster, but some haven't. So we can let's introduce our guests this morning. We can start from the gentleman in the house.
Good day, Dominica, and the rest of the world via internet. I am Nairi John, son of the late great Prime Minister Patrick Rowland John.
Yes.
And I would also like to send greetings to my mom, who is now currently a patient at the China Friendship Hospital, nursing injuries caused by she falling at home and breaking her ankle.
Okay, so we really want you to be up and running soon. And the lady in the middle, good morning.
Good morning to the listening public of Kyrie FM. I am Naomi John of the great Patrick John.
Yes.
First Prime Minister of Dominica.
And she is granddaughter.
The granddaughter.
Yes. And we have on the right, and last but definitely not of the least, good morning.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Aisha John, the last of the 7 children.
The baby.
Of Patrick John. Yes, the baby.
Yes. And it's so nice to have the three of you here, definitely coming in today to just share with us the angle of Mr. John as the father. What was he like at home, off the campaign trail, off the political stage? What was he like? So I'm going to leave it up to you to help us to share with us, give us an insight on who he was. What was he like at home? So Nairi, I'm going to start you off with that because Nairi shared something very interesting when we spoke about cooking. So let's talk about that.
Well, my dad, from day one, right, is someone who always had that exquisite taste when it comes to the culinary arts. He enjoyed cooking because my mom, I consider her to be the world's number one top chef.
Okay.
I learned to cook from her from a very early age, and it's something that was passed on, and. Later down in life, when I reached a certain age, I actually took over the kitchen.
Wow.
Yeah, I told her she could take a back seat, and I just took over the kitchen. And my dad loved me for that because I would prepare whatever he wanted on request. I was his designated chef.
Okay.
Okay. But one of the things, all right, that I was kind of skeptical about, which I did, was introducing him to pizza.
Okay.
The man used to wake me up 2 o'clock in the morning to make him pizza. So I'd be like, Dad, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, come on. And he'd be like, oh, Nairi, there's nowhere in the Constitution it says, that you can't make pizza at 2 o'clock in the morning. So, it was basically fun. We had a lot of good times. We had great times. It was all fun. It was all laughter. It was love, And He will surely be missed. He will surely be missed.
Yes. Okay, so let me just go back again into his role as Prime Minister, the one who was very instrumental, in terms of getting Dominica from, colony, associated statehood, and then in becoming an independent nation. I know that most of you said you weren't around. Definitely wasn't around.
I was a baby. I was a baby.
I sure you was.
I was some months.
I sure
Not
you
even
was.
in the ovaries.
Tell us what some of the memories that he has shared with you about that very important time in his life as a prime minister. And that was definitely long after, but certainly I'm sure it's something that he has mentioned and something that he would definitely know that he will be remembered for.
Yes.
Anything comes to mind?
Well, for me, my father always spoke politics. But
Right.
one thing I can always remember that he told me,
Yes.
that he does not want me to get involved in politics.
Wow.
Yes. And that was something that his mother also told him when he was running, that she did not want him in politics. She actually stopped speaking to him for a long period of time when he went into politics. And he always told me, because growing up at home, people would always be coming politicians, and it was always politics in the house. So I wanted to be part of it, and I wanted to, to become a politician just like him. So I used to tell him, I want to be like you, I want to be a politician. But he always told me, Aisha, stay out of politics. That is not something for you.
I remember, that's true.
And up to a day like today, I don't get involved in politics.
I can understand. And definitely it was a very, I should say, pivotal time for Dominica in the 1970s. Most would describe it as a very difficult, the transition. But definitely attaining independence was very important for us as a nation, making a statement to the world that we really want to do this on our own, by our own terms. All right? So he came, he did what he had to do, and then he retired and settled down. He moved on to sports. Talk to us about that.
Well, the sporting part of it, what I can talk about and remember is the love of football I have for football now is because of my grandfather.
Yes.
I remember the days when we have games, I would go up to the football house, run up to the football house, and we'd be there and we'd be chatting about football. And so those things I would remember. I would remember because the love of football I have now is because of it. He had a passion for football.
Did he engage the family, or it was just he doing his own?
Well, all games he had, and if I used to be there, all games, I would be there. I would be there, and he took it very serious.
Yes.
His football was very, very serious.
Yes.
He just had a passion for
And
it.
I mean, now the football house is
it's named after him. Yes,
so we know that just on that, Mary, we know that he was very involved in terms of football.
Yes,
in
he was.
Mary, what did he ever try to convince you?
Oh boy.
I was a footballer. Goalkeeper.
I remember certain points, right? Our backyard was literally a football field.
Right.
All right. He would put, at one point I'd be the referee. He would transform me into a referee. All right. Then at another point he'd be kicking the ball. I was a goalkeeper. I had to be flying from left to right.
Wow.
It was just amazing. I must say it was just amazing.
all his boys
Yes.
was in football.
Yes.
All his boys played football.
Yes.
I even have a memory. I remember once there was a World Cup football played, and we were in the living room sitting down.
Oh, you remember that?
Yes, I was so excited. It was such a hard game that I jumped so hard and I broke the chair.
Yes, you remember that? And I was the one who had to fix it.
So in that case, I can tell he was definitely a very busy man. I mean, mom is not here, but probably she would have mentioned, how did she cope with such
Oh,
a
my
very
mom, I
busy man?
believe my mom, I used to look at my mom at some point in time like a female superhero. Wow. The way she used to move in terms of taking care of him, in terms of taking care of us, in terms of even finding time for herself, nurturing him, cooking for him, mentoring him, giving him that support. Even when he was incarcerated for 4.5 years, my mother never broke. She never broke. I've never once seen my mother cry. You understand? Because she had that inner strength, that inner power inside of her to be that wife, a man of such great stature should have next to him, And she remained loyal. She remained faithful. She never stopped fighting. And I believe, as a matter of fact, I know, in him being released, okay, 4 years and a half.
That's about 1990.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
After being incarcerated for 12 years, after being sentenced, basically, for 12 years, she is the main and central pillar of he being released at such an early date, because she never stopped fighting for his release. You know, so my mom, I could say, and she had a very, very massive impact on he and his journey for Dominica.
I would assume that any spouse of any politician, let's talk about a prime minister, former prime minister, that
Yes.
you have to be ready mentally,
that's true.
physically, to be with this person,
Of
even
course.
when they are not home.
Yes, yes,
They
yes.
are on the road. So
Yes.
I can only imagine the amount of strength, as you spoke
Yes,
about, and,
yes.
and then the incarceration. Did he ever share anything about that? Is that moment, that experience with you all as children in terms of?
Yes, well, he been incarcerated. He also been, you know, the type of character with the type of personality and even the level of education and intelligence that he was composed of. He told me that he was in jail, all right, physically, but not spiritually, nor mentally, because he always kept his mind active with doing courses.
He used to write.
He was a writer. You know, he kept busy reading. He kept busy studying. You know,
I think he studied law there, some part of law.
he studied
Some part of law there.
He studied law to a certain extent, and you know, so and he also even was a mentor, and you know, he was someone who all of the inmates used to come to for advice. He would tell them certain, you know, methods or techniques they could use, you know, in proving, you know, the ones that were innocent, certain, you know, maneuvers they could have done to, you know, to prove their innocence. Even with those that were guilty, you know, he would help them to find inner peace within the jail cells. So you know, he was the type of person, right, who had that nature where everything was everything and nothing bothered him.
Inspiration. He was a humble man.
Humble,
Spiritual man. Humble.
Aisha, being the baby, did you get the opportunity to spend time with him, personal time? Because I know most time they always say that the baby of the family will be the one that they will keep under their wings as close as possible. What are some of the things that a father, that this daddy would have told you as his baby, and a girl at least, you know? Tell me about some of your best memories of daddy.
Well, to me, I considered myself the princess.
Hey, we used to fight over that every day. We used to fight about it every day.
Yes.
He would take me to school every morning, pick me up from school, drop me by my godmother. You know, he would go back, go to work. If it was football house, then pick me up in the afternoon. My father loved ice cream.
Yep.
All right, then.
I'm so happy I couldn't make ice cream. Yes.
And he was a lover for junk food.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
he
really?
Yes.
a lover of junk food.
Whoa.
Yes,
That was one of the problems my mother had with him.
yeah.
Too much junk food.
Yeah.
So he would spoil me, giving me a lot of junk food.
Yes.
And he would make me get away with so many things that my mother would
Look
not
at
accept.
that.
yes.
Look at that.
So if anything, I wanted anything, I would know, yes, go to daddy.
Yes,
because
yes,
I would
yes.
get away with
So
it.
this brings on my. So talk to. Was he the disciplinarian? But Aisha, you're literally revealing this. You're telling me he's literally the opposite of this. At home, he's
Well, in
warm and
terms-
fuzzy. He was warm and fuzzy.
Yes.
Yes. he was I would say he was an all-rounder, you know.
Okay.
He covered everything family oriented
Okay.
from all different angles and aspects, all right? He was a very godly man, I must say,
God-fearing, yes.
And he put God, he put religion, and he put certain aspects of spiritualism in everything that was also within the family, you know? All right? Health, hygiene, all of these things were practiced at home, all right? And He's a man also who has a very good taste, and he's a man of finesse. He's a man of style. He's a man of, just name it, anything good. All right. Yes.
Naomi, tell me, as granddaughter, not necessarily. You mentioned earlier when we were having our conversation that people actually thought that you were a child.
His daughter.
Tell me about your relationship with Mr. John.
My relationship with my grandfather was a special.
Yes.
He was one. I always used to be excited. I remember a little girl growing up. I was going to St. Martin's School, and he used to be at Mikey, Mikey.
Yes.
And every afternoon, I would run up there after school. I would run up there after school, and we'd stay there. And he always had that passion for me. Sometimes I used to say I'm the favorite grandchild because we spent a lot of time together.
Yes.
Even my calypso, I love calypso. Yes. Because of my granddad. My granddad, I would come and say, Daddy, who you think could win? And we'd sit down and he would tell me what to look for and what not to look for. And we would talk. He was a mentor.
We're definitely going to talk about his role in Calypso. So we can tell so far this man has dipped his fingers in so many areas.
He did.
And one of the reasons I chose typing at school is because of my granddad. Because I always admire him on the typewriter.
Oh, but yes, fast.
Yes,
that typewriter.
Yes, quick.
Yes.
And one of the reasons I chose typing at school is because of him.
Yes.
Wow.
Because of his love. And it's like everything. He was a man. Yes, he was a role model. He was my mentor. Any advice I would go to him for it. Anything I had to do, any decision, he would want, I would have to go to him. I would go to him and tell him, Daddy, look, is that and that. What do you think? And then he would tell me. I remember when I went for my visa, he was the one that did my job letter.
Okay.
I would never forget that. Yes. And when the guy, at that time, people could go up, and that is all they watched. All they watched, the person, the embassy watched, was the letter, and they just issued me the visa.
Yeah, that's what the name.
So I will not forget him. He'd always have a special place in my heart.
Well, I didn't know him. I mean, I think I remember him as a child. I would have seen him as a child. I have seen him, but you really are bringing me into your home, and I almost feel as if I was a neighbor or something, But I'm really happy that you have those great memories. And we are going to take a break or take some ads. And when we come back, we're going to talk about a little bit more of those last few years in terms of, you could tell he's aging, but we would definitely want to talk about the Calypso because he really contributed to some big tunes,
a lot.
some very iconic tunes that Dominicans can enjoy today and forever.
Yes.
All right, but so far we just want to say thank you so much for coming here, and so many people are tuned to just get in this little window into Mr. John's life. Yes? So thank you so very much. Everybody stay tuned. Thank you for joining us on the radio and of course on our Facebook Live. Gonna take a word from our sponsors once more, and then we will be right back.
Malcolm Stephen and Sons across the bridge is the headquarters, guaranteed for all your frozen meats, poultry, ham, turkey, fish in French every day, every week, from Monday morning to Saturday afternoon. Malcolm Stevens is the people's first choice for the ever-fresh quantity, with the widest variety and assortment of all your fresh favorite frozen foods from across the Caribbean and across the world. Guaranteed freshness. Pat mouton, pat cabouit, madi la cabouit. All the frozen chicken parts you could ever need. Legs, breast, breast, chest, thighs, feet, gizzards. Malcolm Stevens' back and neck is not back and neck, is neck and back. Dominica alone gets the freshest and the best from Malcolm Stevens' Sons. Swinging sassing for their drumsticks there and first serving it. Your beans, your peas, your salted and pickled meats, tout pat cochon. When you want a broth and a soup, you need to come to Malcolm Stevens and Sons. Nobody makes a better pillau or broth or soup than a Dominican. But the secret is that they buy all their tastiest, nutritious and satisfying frozen foods only at Malcolm Stevens and Sons in Portersville. Tell them I sent you. 448-8709 or 235-5521.
Pure, crisp refreshment. Caribe Hard Cider. Yours to enjoy. With a delicate, exotic taste you just can't get enough of. Caribe Hard Cider is perfect for any occasion. Crafted with champagne yeast, it's an all-natural, gluten-free blend that'll keep you coming back for more. Caribe Hard Cider. Available in original, pineapple, and rosé.
Are you looking for good eggs? I mean quality eggs fresh from the farm? Well, we have exactly what you're looking for. No matter the quantity, we have the right amount. Call us today for your fresh farm eggs. Telephone 448-7331, 448-7330, 448-8752 or 614-6767. And we'll get you your fresh farm eggs.
So amazing, I'm not exaggerating.
Attention all students, please settle down. Let's get ready for school with KFC's Back to School Spend and Win. Spend $20 or more for a chance to win one of 3 amazing prizes. Third prize, win a school bag with school supplies and a $200 best prize voucher. Second prize, win a Samsung Galaxy Tab. And the grand prize, win a scholarship of $1,500. Promotion runs from now to August 13th, 2021. It's KFC's Back to School Spend and Win.
Innovate My World is back for the annual Summer Day Camp this year in collaboration with Dominica American Relief and Development Association. During the week of July 20th, this camp will be free for second and third form students. This is an online camp, so you can be based anywhere in the world. This is your opportunity to give back to your country in these challenging times. Our students deserve it. So, if you're a second or third form student and would like to participate in this camp, registration is free and is now open. Adults and students can contact us at info@innovatemyworld.org or go to our website, innovatemyworld.org, and click on the link at the top of the page.
Hardware and home improvement, building supplies for you, kitchen appliances, even home decor too. Lumber, lawn, all your garden supplies, plumbing, welding, electrical supplies.
Visit Do It Center at the former J. Nassif Hardware location on Goodwill Road. Call us at 255-6890. Do it Center.
Isn't it? Lovely, lovely things indeed. Your small enterprise of choice for personalized cups, mugs, pillows, glasses, tote bags, corsages, and so much more. Weddings and birthday keepsakes. 245-8483. Visit our Facebook and Instagram pages. Lovely things, anything but the ordinary. And of course, we are back. And if you're joining us at this half hour of our show, we have 3 of the children, I said children, grandchildren, children of the late great Patrick John, first Prime Minister of Dominica. And of course, just getting a different angle of who the man was. So we've so far learned that he loved the food and he loved junk food. But definitely he had so much to offer, and he did serve Dominica in such a wonderful way. One of the things, you know, when you mentioned the word typing, I said I can only imagine that he had a wealth of information and books and scripts at home.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Did you get to read some, or it was just daddy's thing?
Yes, well, he had a special room.
Okay.
He called that room the study.
Okay.
Right? That's where he stored all his memorabilia. He stored all his books from way back in the days, even before Dominica got into independence.
Yes.
You know, he had a lot of inspirational books. You know, it varied. It varied.
Documents, clipping, newspapers, all those sorts of things. Yes.
But after Maria, like at least 95, I would say, percent of his So we had no choice but just to discard them.
I can only imagine that is some things in there could have been archived.
Of course they were.
Boy, Maria really touched everybody.
Yeah. He had a lot of antiques also. He was an antique collector.
Okay.
He had trophies, he had certificates.
He had,
I'm telling you.
Wow. Let's talk about his life in music. Let's talk about what was he like when he was preparing to write for someone. I'm sure you've seen Calypsonians come and go in the home.
Well, what I noticed, right, over the years, right, of he being a composer, that he would do. The first thing he would do, right, he would go he would go to his bedroom, he would kneel, and then he would pray. All right, because like I said before, he's a man who always put God first before anything. And then and I believe also that he would get most of his inspiration, right, came from God. You know, because the type of calypsos and the type of
deep,
the depth of the calypsos, and then also the type of poetries he would come up with, they were kind of like, you know, out of this world. So he always got his inspiration, I would say, from God.
Yes.
Yes.
And we know that one of those tunes, I'm sure he has a part in quite a few, but I know for sure Dominicans will Dominicans will always remember that one flag.
And it's because of his passion for the love of his country.
Yes.
I believe
it's
that.
Clear.
It's
very clear. I mean,
it is.
Hunter did an amazing job in delivering this, but the writing, the music.
Because if you listen to the words,
it's
because of his love for the country.
And still today feels brand new as if it was written just yesterday. How does he? I mean, I'm sure he listens to it, hears it occasionally on the radio, what have you, or he plays it himself. How did he feel when, you know, he played some of those songs?
He always sings it. He
word by word.
He wrote it. He wrote it, so he would. But I'm sure it would invoke a level of, you know, make his heart swell, and a level of pride that despite what he has gone through, that he still remained true and proud of his country, Dominica.
Yes,
I can only imagine.
And he wrote as a hobby. He did not do it for
natural
reasons. So
it was just natural in him.
So everybody he wrote for, it was free.
Yes.
He didn't get any commission.
Yes.
It was just free because he did it as a
hobby.
As a love and hobby.
Yes. Now, if you remember any Calypsonians who came home,
oh boy. Our home was like a free port, I would say. People going in and out.
Doors
you know?
wide up, welcoming.
Yes, that door never used to lock.
I can remember Young Days Hurricane, the Calypsonian Hurricane. I can definitely remember him. I can remember Scrunter coming home, Hunter coming home. There was this lady, I think, Sandra, what was her name? Singing Sammy?
It was singing, I think it was even international Calypsonians, right, from Trinidad. Used to visit the house all the time.
Wow.
Yes.
So there are songs that we probably don't even know.
He composed.
Okay, or at least helping the composing. Okay, that's nice to know. And I mean, I really wish I knew this even before. You understand? But it's really good to know. And I think even as a family, you can make the effort to document it, so you can at least know.
Eventually.
You know, and at least just reach out to these people, because anything I'm sure that he had played a part in, these people are also feeling the loss, you know, because they played a part in his life. And of course, look, Mom is on there. She's like, it will be sung at the funeral. All right. Let us talk about his, as I said, the final years coming down. When he first took ill, how did you started to, you know, take this in? I mean, obviously, you see your parents aging. You have to start looking at what's going to happen to us as a family and so forth. Anything that went through your mind?
For me, it was a sudden change, because my father was always a very vibrant person,
Yes.
always on the move.
Yes.
So from the first time that he got the news that he had to amputate his leg, it devastated him because he did not want to do it. And I remember a nurse came to me and she told me, you know, your dad asked me if it was you who was going to lose your leg, what would you do? And she said that she told him, well, if it gave me a few extra years with my family, then I would do it. And that's why he decided, okay, let me go ahead and with the surgery and amputate my leg. But it was something that he did not want to do.
I mean, nobody wants to lose a limb because they know that life is going to change a bit much. You know that their routines, and especially as a very independent man, and he did what he wanted to do. Losing a limb can be difficult, so I can only imagine. Then, so he went through that, and then what happened? How did the family had to cope with that in terms of at home? How to assist him or how did he accept this? Once his leg was done, how did he react at home? And
Well, we did everything for him, you know, because besides losing the limb, you know, with the various complications medically that he was exposed to, it was kind of difficult for him to move around in terms of like, you know, like having that physical ability. So we did basically everything for him, you know, and then, you know, my mom, you know, she did her best as to, you know, nurturing him again, giving him the right foods, you know, presenting him with the right diets, you know, and
I guess the junk food really caught up to him eventually. Yeah, so he had to make some life changes. Yes. But what about his spirit?
Oh, that's one thing that never changed there. Even up to the day that he passed, his spirit always remained the same, you know, because that's something he always told me, you know. He told me life is not about everything physical. Life is not about everything material. Life isn't all about money. Money is just for comfort. But he always maintained that money doesn't buy you happiness, you know. He told me one of the main goals that human beings should seek, or, you know, after, is finding that inner peace, you know, finding peace within.
Agree.
Yeah, he always told me that. So his spirit remained the same from day one.
And he had all his senses on.
Yes.
So he had his little transistor radio next to him, so he always listened to the radio. So he was up to speed as to
what's
everything
going on the ground. Yes.
You would come to him, you would ask him, you remember when the Queen was in Dominica, and he would give you the whole rundown of that day.
Tell me, I would really love, what did he say about that day? Can you remember anything that he said about that? Because, I mean, all we have left are videos and pictures, you know, and I mean, recently, for me, I've been watching a movie, the series, The Crown, and I mean, you know, different historical points in terms of countries talking about their independence and so forth will pop up. But how did he feel? What did he say about that day? Can you remember, Aisha, some of the things he would say that happened that day? I'm sure he probably didn't sleep that day coming up to that momentous occasion.
I honestly can't remember.
Yes.
So 6 years ago he gave me that story.
Well, yeah. Well, based on what he told me, based on what I recall, he was excited because, you know, one of his main journeys, right?
Yes.
Okay, one of his main missions, like he always told me, was to liberate his people. You know, he was a man of the people. He was a man for the people. You know, and he always told me about liberating his people because he wanted Dominica to be free. He wanted Dominica to be free in terms of making its own choices and making its own decisions and having a say. You know, so he was excited and he felt accomplished. You know. You know, I mean, come on, because we all know back in these days, you know, racism was rampant. And, you know, being a little island, a little country in the Caribbean, you know, predominantly black, and then, you know, going to England, predominantly whites, and fighting for the cause of your people, and coming out victorious. You know, that was just a massive accomplishment for him. So he was totally excited from day one up to until the day of the passing. You know, going to England and, you know, getting our freedom.
And so I can only imagine the funeral when that flag flies. It's important. It is so. I don't even know how to capture it, but that flag, he saw that flag the first time it came up that pole, you know. So it almost as if you associate that the national flag of Dominica with him. Because he saw it that very first time. And of course, again, I can only imagine being a part of a family that has, you know, you're part of history, you know. And but on a little side note, I asked Nairi, how did he think, you know, your tattoos and because the average Joe like me saw you and I was like, that's Patrick John. I wonder how he felt. How did he feel about that?
He never felt no way because, you know, he has always been a man art, you know,
Yes.
who loves art and who loves culture, and I mean tattoos and piercings are art.
Expressions.
Yeah, the artistic expressions,
Right.
basically, you know. So he never had any issues or no problems.
I
with
remember when I did my
these
first
things.
tattoo, and I was on the porch of veranda, and I
Yes.
did my first
Yes,
tattoo when he
yes.
was laying to the tattoos.
Yes.
And it was so painful, I never colored it, finished colored it. And he would be like, Aisha, color that. That doesn't look good. Finish color.
Yeah,
Imagine that.
he actually said that. He actually said
Wow.
that he witnessed it. You know,
The
He was right
average
there.
parent around your father's age would have frowned very much on tattoos.
Yes.
Okay, I remember mine, and my grandmother she could hit the roof. But it's really it's warming to hear
Yes,
that
yes,
he was.
yes.
It's
That he was,
okay.
he was a cool.
He was
he
an easygoing
yeah,
person.
easygoing
I can tell you
person.
straight.
Down to
Non-judgmental.
Yes,
Yeah,
non-judgmental.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
really,
interesting.
Yes.
That is really interesting
Yeah.
to know about him, because
Yeah.
the average person would be like,
Yes.
oh, wow.
Well, my mom
He
on the
never
other hand
told you slow
was
down?
different. My mom would tell me, "Oh, you
So
put
the
the next one.
opposite, yes.
Oh, you put another one."
So she was the
Opposite.
yin to his yang.
Yes, basically.
And I guess that's how they survived, and they moved as a
Balanced
couple.
and
They
balanced
had to balance
everything,
each other.
yes, yes.
So she was, when he was a little bit relaxed, she was the
Yes.
one to say,
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
she's
yes.
the uptight one.
stop giving them leeway.
Yes.
Yes.
For Christmas, he would always give us some money, and she'd be like, Patrick, what you giving those children all that money for to go and shop?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes, yes.
So I really understand
Yes.
how this worked.
Yes.
How did mom feel coming down to those last days? I know she was in the hospital, but how did she
Yes.
feel, and how did she take this?
Well,
news?
everything happened so sudden, so it
Yes,
wasn't
yes.
something that we were expecting.
Okay.
So it so happened that she fell on the Sunday.
Sunday, yes, because
Okay.
And
because
well-
sorry, because what happened? I came from my farm on Sunday, so she was holding onto my keys for me at home.
Okay.
I came knocking the door, knocking, no response. Knocking, no response. I called, no response. So I went
You're
back.
worried.
Yeah, I kind of worried, but I thought she must have gone out, to the neighbor. So I came back banging on the door. Then, so apparently she was in a deep sleep. So I heard her jump out from the sleep, and she told me, "I'm coming." In coming to open the door, she must have slid. I think it was on some ear gel or something that must have fallen
Okay.
on the floor, and she fell, and only to find out that in falling she must have twisted her leg
ankle.
and she broke her ankle. So
Okay.
she was transported to the hospital. So my sister Aisha decided, hey, you know what? We can't leave him home alone,
Right.
because she's the one who was taking care of him, and
Yes.
in terms of feeding, in terms of like cleaning, in terms
Yes.
of being there for him, and he had a whole bunch of medication also that at specific
Time
times,
was important,
yes,
yeah.
he had to take. So my sister Aisha decided, she's going to call the ambulance and get him transported to the hospital, so proper care and attention could be rendered onto him. And from the time he got there, he was hooked up with, they noticed that his oxygen was kind of low, and then, other like complications, and he was hooked up to certain machineries, and tests were ran, and when the results came back, it was discovered that he had multiple ailments, and and from there he just rapidly just kept on going down.
Because
Yes.
from I called the ambulance, and on my way down, it was a drastic change in how he looked.
Yes.
From when I saw him the night when I came home, to told him that my mother was in the hospital.
Yes,
to
because
the next day it was
yeah,
a drastic
because
change.
because the morning of his passing, Aisha came home to check him,
Yes.
and I made breakfast for him,
Yes.
and I told her to feed him, and so we also noticed that his eyes, the color of his eyes had also changed. His eyes were kind of gray. His eyes were open, but they were gray. So we found it real strange. Why he never had any issues, with his eyes. So we just from there we realized, hey, things are just taking a turn for the worse. Yes.
So then I called him on my way down. I said that no, he's really not looking good. So I called Naomi, and I told her, I'm bringing Daddy to the hospital. You guys need to come up. By the time it didn't take 5 minutes, they were all the children with him.
Yes.
And I felt a sense of satisfaction that in his last days he got to spend it with all his children. Well,
That's important.
majority of his children, to hear their voice. Everybody, tell him, how much they love him, and they wish him well. So I felt a sense of satisfaction knowing that his last days, he spent it well, his last hours, that he spent it with his loved ones.
And I'm very happy for that. I see we have some people trying to call. No problem. Our numbers 4487334. If you would like to at least extend your condolences personally and just share whatever experience you'd like, feel free to do so. So far, I'm really enjoying this rapport with the family. And again, it is hard, but I'm sure you really mentioned when you said you are satisfied. I feel happy for you that you had that satisfaction, that even it's going to be rough mourning somebody, even when we lay them to rest. Long after, we will miss them, we will miss their voice, their presence, but you have that satisfaction, and that's very good. All right, so we have a call. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Fireman touching base, because I think I the outside child of Mr. Roland Patrick Young, the first Prime Minister of Rivernica.
Morning, Fireman. How are you?
Well, I give him thanks. I'm listening, staying healthy and positive. And I have good message. I am my brother diary, no matter what. So let me tell you something. Mr. Patrick John, one thing I can say about him, as everybody say, he was a man for the people. He was a man for the people, by the people, really and truly. That man don't have no kind of standard. He don't have no pride. He don't have no dignity. He just a man that's living like a bird. He love and respect everybody, first class, last class, anyhow you come. I know for a fact, that's what people tell me, in part of politics, no politician did vex with the brother because why? Of where he come out and who he be. Because Rivernica right now is certain names you have to have. You have to have certain brands, certain quality for them to recognize you. You see me? You ready, Fireman?
Yeah.
But when you see a man like PJ now come in the ring, he bring a different atmosphere. He bring a different energy, because even them same house is the world boss. Giving people today, as far as I understand. He was one of the one that started. Even people say so much things, you know what I'm saying? So really and truly, Mr. Patrick John, no matter what, some little bad, no matter some kind of bad state that have some kind of bad energy against the brother, because as I say again, because of who he be and what he are and where he coming from. Because if he coming from the high class and the other class, he would never go forward. He go even when he been back after when he come out to the prison and they put him back in prison again and when he win his seat. There's a set of grudge and jealousy that caused that. But I know for a fact he's not there physically among us, but I know that man do a great, great job for Rivernica, no matter what people say. The time he had to do so much, when he put us independent, they put him outside so he couldn't do so much. You know what I'm saying? But that man, we have everybody, no matter who that against him, who for him, we have to give him enough love and respect. And I always say, a lot of people giving people flowers when they pass, but not Fireman. I have to make sure I bring his mangoes for him, because Nairi right there, right?
Yes, yeah. I'm right there.
Brother, me and Nairi, me tell you something, last night when Nairi when last year I called Nairi, it was me and him, they called together, but anyway, he turned and leave Fireman and go on another ring. Last night I called him, it was me and Nairi, right? I know that. I have to bring all these fruits for him. I have to give Mr. Patrick John, I give him enough love and respect. I don't take too much of the time. Nairi, anyway, we're not ready.
Yes, take care, man.
Still in the energy.
Yes.
And that is our life, that is our king, that is our hero, no matter what people say. We have to make sure you get a blessed and a great funeral. All fun running Nairi, stay positive, stay focused on your family and your members. Fireman running blessed. So I give my little two.
Thank you. Yes, definitely. Thank you for the energy you brought and your words and
what the caller is saying is really true, because my father was a person for the people.
Yes.
He was non-judgmental, it wasn't about class.
Nothing.
And one thing he always told me was that, remember I said that he said his mom stopped speaking with him when he joined politics. But he told me that before he was sworn in as premier, his mother called him.
She was there.
And she told him,
come for her.
And she wants him to take on the role. And he said, he asked her, why? Why all of a sudden are you now deciding that you want me to take on the role? And she said, when you take on that role as premier,
remember the poor people.
I want you to just promise me one thing, that you remember the poor people.
I came across some writings and they say, PJ for the little man.
Yes.
So I can imagine at that time in Dominica when we were really you know, we went through a lot. I know we went through a disastrous hurricane, so a lot of people lost so much, you know. So it was at a time in our country where rebuilding was really
Important.
the word of the time, you know, rebuilding from scratch, almost from scratch, you know, because Hurricane David did its number. But from the gentleman and from so much I have been reading, I had to, you know, had to do my homework, you know, today. Although we weren't going to concentrate on the political aspect, but you know, it was important to see, to at least get a picture of who he was, and you are completing the photograph for me, that you know that this man was just so humble and loving and warm.
Yes, he was.
Yes. So we're looking forward as a country to see this final send-off, and definitely deserve his flowers. We will definitely be supporting here and in the diaspora, of course, for who would be considered the father of the nation. You know, any words that you want to leave with our audience as to Daddy Patrick, Grandfather Patrick? What do you want people to remember him by? I mean, they'll remember everything you said today, but at least you have your last words. Nari, what do you want people to remember your father for?
Well, basically, my father is someone who actually paved the way, okay, for everything you see happening right now. Because if we didn't go to England, all right, to get us independence, we would still be under Britain, and right now we wouldn't have this present government. This present government wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to be here right now, because we'd still be under England, right? So I, would like everyone to always remember him as the one who paved the way for today and also paved the way for tomorrow. Yes.
Very, very, very lovely. What about you, Naomi?
What I want us to remember is his deep love for the country. And let his legacy lives on. His love, because he had love for Dominica. Great love.
Yes. Aisha?
I want people to remember my father as a person who did not judge people. He did not judge them based on their political background. And I want people to come together. Come together and put politics aside, and let us try to make Dominica a better place, unified, because that's what my father would have wanted.
Definitely. We have just a little bit of time for any callers who would like to at least reach out, but today has just been a day of celebrating who he was. Away from the political stage, I know it is easy for us to judge a political figure, but at home, how was he at home, building his family, encouraging his family? And of course, Mrs. John, I send my wishes to you, of course, comfort to cope with this time. And of course, we can just keep you in our prayers, and do reach out. All right, Nairi has a special request before we leave, and I will definitely fulfill his request. He wanted a song played, but I'm so grateful for you all coming here today to share with us, give us a little insight on Daddy and
thank
Granddaddy.
you also for having us.
More than welcome. And I'm sure you will definitely tell the grandbabies who follow about
we're already doing. We've already started
about their grandfather and their grandfather's legacy, what he's leaving and what he has left behind at Dominica is, what you see is he started this, and we hope to continue and fulfill the mission and the dreams that he had. All right, so we're winding down Elevate for another Saturday. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to leave with Nairi's song that he requested. And so, of course, everybody, again, our condolences to the John family and the immediate and extended family. And we hope that, the next few days until when he's laid to rest is easy as it can. All right? Cry as you have to, mourn how you have to. It's normal, it's natural. But he's done his share. And the rest is up to us as his family.
I just want to say thank you to the public, the people of Dominica and abroad, because their words of kindness has brought so much comfort to me and my family during that time.
Yes.
So thank you so very much, and thank you for sharing with us, for allowing this. I mean, it's fresh. The cut is fresh, but you agreed, and I was very happy for this, and we need this, all of us. All right. So we say thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for joining us on Elevate, and we definitely hope that you have a blessed weekend and a blessed week coming up ahead, and we just give thanks for everything.
Yes. Thanks.